Welcome to Everyday Enlightenment. I'm Claritha, and I want to talk about breaking down to break through, which can sometimes be the bravest thing that you can do in an uncomfortable moment. Because if you're out in the world, especially if you're interacting with people who don't hold the same views as you, which is fairly common right now, it's helpful to remember to be gentle to yourself because you are unlearning and relearning how to be in relationships. And this can be any relationship: business colleague, romantic partner, friend, child, all of the types of relationships you can have out in the world. And one thing that I know for sure is that as long as we are human, there will always be uncomfortable, awkward moments. It's just who we are, right? It's just the nature of having life experiences and programming that goes along with moving through those experiences. But oftentimes what happens in your effort to avoid being weird or causing confusion, you might actually be inadvertently causing more of just that in your relationship or for yourself. I always say your closest relationships are your greatest mirrors. And nobody can trigger you like your family, right? And it may be frustrating at times, but those experiences are actually ripe for personal growth and personal development. So I'll share a story, or more like a story from an article I read a while ago in Elephant Journal. And it was written by a man who was in this very fun, very sort of like playful romantic relationship. And for the most part, he was saying that the relationship was great, except when things would get challenging or feel confrontational in the relationship. And when that would happen, his partner would just like ghost. His partner would just disappear, sometimes for days at a time. And it really drove him nuts. You don't want that ideally in a partner. So he would get mad and he would kind of pull away himself emotionally, and neither one of them was making an effort to understand each other's perspective when things got a little crunchy in the relationship. Until one day he was in a fruit market and he had an epiphany about peaches when he was around the peach stand. And he thought most people liked peaches because peaches are juicy and they're sweet. But when it comes to the pit, they just throw it away. And he thought nature must have a different perspective on this. Because we all, when you think about fruit, fruit's delicious. But through nature's eyes, it's all about the pit. It's all about the seed, right? Because in nature's viewpoint, the pit or the seed is where it's at, because the pit is the source of life. So even though we enjoy all of the juicy, the sweet, the refreshing, the very delicious exterior of the fruit, but when it comes to the pit, we usually throw it away because the pit is no use to us, right? It's actually bitter if you've ever bitten into the pit. And, we even have sayings about oh, that's the pits, or, it's I'm in the pits, or whatever, something like that, indicating that it's a bad situation and that it's not great, right? Well, overlay this peach epiphany that he had on relationships. And in relationships, we all enjoy the fun, we all enjoy the playful, the juicy part of spending time with someone. But when it comes to challenges or breakdowns, when things aren't, so sunny and so fun, we want to kind of throw in the towel, or not give it our time or attention. And oftentimes we see the pit of the relationships as something that we have to deal with, an irritant or a trigger sometimes. But the pit can be a powerful alchemist of growth for you or for the relationship, or both. Because just as the pit is the source of life for the fruit, breakdowns and challenges are the source of life for a relationship. And just that, it can be just a relationship with a particular partner, but also your relationship with everything and everyone else. including you. Most importantly, you, actually. Because when you run into challenges, you have two choices. You can just simply stay on the surface of things and honestly kind of avoid the issue, kind of put your head in the sand because you're uncomfortable, or actually allow yourself to experience the breakdown. Because only then, only by being open and honest and raw, can you see the core or the pit of who you really are or the other person in the relationship. And yes, this can be very scary. It can feel very vulnerable, but by embracing the source of life, we can continue to grow and expand. And that's what we're here for. That's what we're doing in leaps and bounds right now. So as they say, break down to break through. Break down to break through. It's a constant opportunity that we get to have in our life. And know that nature is intelligent. Nature is the most intelligent. And fruit is designed to be sweet and delicious because it attracts animals, us included, who eat the fruit and then carry them far away from the tree or the bush and then either drop them or, poop them out and seeds grow, right? Grow into new fruit, new trees. Nature is drawing us in so that we can help procreate. It's designed that way. It's a very, very well designed, very good design. But human nature, and by human nature, we are drawn to relationships because of the sweetness and because of the deliciousness that we naturally crave to experience. But that is just what draws us in. Just as the fruit draws us in to help its creation, to help its procreation, relationships also draw us in by their own sweetness so that we will come to the pit, experience the breakdown, discover ourselves, and be encouraged to evolve together. And everything is mirrored in nature, as within, so without. So we are part of nature. Nature is a force. And it's going to happen whether you like it or not. So why resist it? It makes the struggle a little bit harder. Breakdowns are designed to happen. They are meant to happen on purpose to forward our own evolution and to expand the growth of our consciousness and our experience. So let them come and celebrate them, honor them, and let them be a source of light and life. So welcome them instead of letting them be a source of destruction or stagnation or de-evolution. That might be worst of all, right? By resisting them. So how do you do this? It's simple. You just don't resist it. You let yourself be in the pits. You let yourself feel all of the things. And the less you resist it, the quicker you actually move through it and get back to the fun part of being alive and growing and the next thing. So this is for every relationship that you have with everything and everyone in your life, your work, your health, your family, your friends, and like I said before, most importantly, yourself. So any place where you find yourself in the pits is a place that may be a potential source of growth and greater connection to life and appreciation for your experience. Appreciate your experiences. Sometimes we forget to do that. And in your romantic relationships, you have the opportunity to go on that journey with somebody else together in a way that massively accelerates your personal evolution. And that is why in relationships, we want to choose and run towards the source of life versus away from it, because those relationships where you're choosing to go through the pits together are far richer and enjoy many more fruits than others that run away from it. So consider doing an experiment for yourself by simply having an awareness around cherishing and nourishing the pit when it shows up in your life, because it is the source of all the delicious fruit you will ever want. So I hope that was helpful. Have a great week.